with many speculating that AEW is set to announce a brand new TV rights deal tomorrow at the Warner Upfront. I'm going to fill you in on a new report that outlines what we could expect and why you probably should not expect an announcement tomorrow. But we're going to tell you the latest about this TV deal, what we know so far. We're also going to dive into some WWE news with CM Punk looking like he's very close to returning not only to live television every week, but in-ring action. All that, much more coming up right here in this video. Be sure to smash that like button like there's no tomorrow. Subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. All right, so according to PW Insider, at this moment, there is no deal in place between Warner Bros. Discovery and AEW. And in addition to that, there is no announcement expected tomorrow at the Warner Upfronts. Now, for those of you who may be wondering what the Warner Upfronts are, these are big presentations that basically every TV company host or every media company host that has some stake in television, where they announce what their new shows are going to be, what their new initiatives are going to be, and get everyone excited for the new season of television. Part of that, one would expect, is announcing new TV deals. And it was speculated for a very long time that the AEW Warner Bros. Discovery deal was going to be announced at these upfront meetings. That does not seem to look like it's happening. In fact, we are getting word that basically they are still negotiating. And it's not out of the ordinary for these things to take this much time. The interesting thing that we still really don't know is what the priority negotiating window is for Warner Bros. Discovery, because the way these things usually work is that when an entity or a property is up for renewal as far as their TV contracts go, there is a set period of time where you are negotiating exclusively with your prior TV partner. And then after you pass that exclusivity window, then you're allowed to see what other offers are out there. And if you're looking at a product like AEW, people can mock the ratings for all they are. However, this is a weekly live television show that travels every week and is able to garner a top 3 rating nearly every night in the key demo. That is critical. And I'm talking about Dynamite here, obviously. We know that Collision and Rampage have their own set of problems. I believe the timings for those shows probably need to be changed if they want to optimize the value in those. However, for Dynamite, that is that's a flagship for TBS, if we're being honest. Especially when you have the NBA, which right now is in negotiations with NBC, and it looks like NBC is set to offer them over $2 billion per year for the rights to what was originally the TBS or the TNT contract, that Warner Brothers had for the NBA. Now, the interesting thing there, right, that many people are wondering, how is this going to affect Warner Brothers? Warner Brothers has the ability to match the NBA's offers. However, at that point, if they are paying $2+ billion per year for the NBA, for them, that's a loss leader. Like, they're going to have to find a way to make up that money, because they are essentially spending that money just to have the NBA and not really reap the profits that they really want to, right? And that's the unfortunate situation they're in. And that's why I think it's fair to assume from a business standpoint that they want to tie the ship to AEW, that they want to go all in, to pardon the pun, there on AEW. It just would make a whole lot of sense for both AEW and Warner Bros. Discovery, honestly. Like, you want that live entity that keeps people tuning in. You are trying to build out this sports section on the Max app. You are announcing a merger, well, not a merger, but you are announcing a partnership with Disney and Hulu to combine all of your streaming properties. You're going to want content for that, and you're going to want that live content. They spent the money, they've done the infrastructure work to try to build out live streaming on Max. And if you ask me, if you have a deal with AEW pay-per-views and TNT, or sorry, excuse me, and TV being simulcasted there, that's the best case scenario for everyone, because number one, and most importantly in my view, it gets rid of the BS talk about ratings, which most fans really don't know what they're talking about when they're talking about ratings, because they just look at one number, they don't compare it to what else is on TV, and they compare it to numbers that was from like 20 years ago. It's whatever. But more importantly, on a serious note, the thing to keep in mind and what that's going to do is it's going to allow AEW to both have a hold on live viewers who have not cut the cord on cable, but also, catch up with newer viewers who may not be as familiar with AEW, who may not have cable, who may not have access to watch AEW TV live week in, week out. That is a real thing. So if you're looking at it from a fan standpoint or an AEW standpoint, the optimal situation to be in is get the viewers on cable and get the viewers on streaming, and you're there. And then you establish yourself as a major player as far as TV goes. You establish yourself as a pretty important entity for Warner Bros. Moving forward, and that's the goal here for All Elite Wrestling. Now, the final part here that is important to mention, is that we have gotten word. Word is there have been rumors. I will say, I'm not going to say this is a report, but there have been rumors. I think Andrew Zarian mentioned it on a podcast, so this is not so much news, but a little bit of speculation here that AEW may be announcing, at the upfronts, there were rumors that at the upfronts, Warner Brothers may announce some sort of an AEW entity that is not in this TV deal. It's not Dynamite. It's not Collision. Some sort of non-wrestling programming, which would be interesting to see what that is. We know that they've done reality TV in the past, Roads to the Top and all that stuff, but rarely have we seen them venture out in that respect. So it would be interesting to see what they could do. And think about it like this: like the entire landscape of wrestling on TV has changed. Like WWE are selling like properties, like it's IP. It is their game now, right? Like they have Undertaker movies. They want to develop movies around these very big and larger than life characters. And I think you could see something similar there with AEW. You also could see some sort of reality TV aspect of it. Maybe they're trying to bring back AEW All Access. I know that was it didn't do as well in the ratings, but it was a pretty popular show as far as fans go. So maybe that's what it is. I guess we'll see tomorrow. The upfronts are going to be big. If there's any news coming out of the upfronts, I will be here to report on all of that. So be sure to smash that like button and subscribe, most importantly, so you don't miss any of that as we move on to our next topic. And we got to talk about him because we're talking about AEW. We might as well talk about CM Punk now. Well, so anyway, CM Punk, guys. Dave Meltzer, the Wrestling Observer newsletter, did report this week that CM Punk will be healthy enough to make an in-ring return pretty soon. Here's the quote from Meltzer. Quote, Punk's not that far from being back, most likely. If he had his surgery at the end of January, you're looking at like July, August, maybe September. It's not that far away anymore. He might make it to SummerSlam, and if he can make it to SummerSlam, Punk and Drew for the title, that makes a lot of sense. Even if he can't, you can do that a month after. So Meltzer making it clear that obviously the plans for Punk when he does return are Drew McIntyre. That much is clear by like just watching the TV product. But Meltzer also saying that the timetable for Punk's return seems to be sometime this summer. And look, Punk has stated, even so on the Ariel Helwani show, that he feels like the recovery time from this injury is insane. Like he feels like, Punk was saying that he could go at Mania. He was trying to go at Mania. Obviously, like that's not healthy. You shouldn't do that. But I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to see CM Punk in the ring for SummerSlam. I think the end of July? I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. I think we should probably expect it, because you have on one hand like people reporting that Punk is getting closer and closer. You have Punk himself coming out and saying that, he feels great and that he feels like he's ready to go whenever. If that's the case, then I think we're going to see CM Punk in the ring very soon. And if they're able to capitalize on Punk in the way that they should, right? Because it has been, he returned in November, has not had a televised match outside of the Royal Rumble where he tore his tricep again. And I'm telling you, that first Punk match, like that first televised Punk singles match, needs to be built up to be big. There is no bigger opponent for CM Punk right now other than Drew McIntyre. There is no more logical opponent for CM Punk right now other than Drew McIntyre. And I think this has the recipe to be one of those like all-time SummerSlam moments. And you could even build it up with some interesting ways. I'm getting a little bit into fantasy booking here, but there's a way you build this up where CM Punk costs Drew the belt at Clash at the Castle, and the match between Punk and Drew isn't even for the title. That would be insane. That would be epic, because at that point, you're turning Punk heel. And you could argue that Punk was always at his best when he was a conniving heel. And if they're able to capture that magic and bring that back, that'd be cool. I mean, Drew at this point is one of the most over people on the entire roster. I think that the stuff that he has done leading up into this Punk feud, he's over. The fans love him. Fans want to cheer for him because it's funny, it's clever, and he just comes across like an absolute maniac. And I love that. So shout out to Drew McIntyre. Shout out to CM Punk. Again, hopefully he's back soon, because remember, I've always said this. If you're WWE, you would much rather have CM Punk on your TV show than not have CM Punk on your TV show. That's how big he matters as far as ratings and interest and, just fanfare. Like, he's one of the best. Anyway, guys, I want to hear from you. What do you guys think? Should CM Punk return? What do you think about the Warner Bros. Discovery AEW news? Will they come to a contract? Is AEW going to be on a different network? Let me know in the comments section below. Also, be sure to smash that like button like I have already said like a few times in this video. Subscribe and hit that notification bell. Until next time, keep it real.